Welcome to my channel, Level Headed with Levi D. Please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and set the bell notification to all. Please also share this. Let's get into it.
Don't wait up, I've been working hard every day, living dreams for a pay stub, yeah, straight up. 5 years later, like I said, I would make it on my way up. It's all up, coming from the nation, laid a foundation, true stuff, yeah, too tough. We ain't giving up on our dreams, everything is ahead of us. Stay true to your path, it's not where you start, it's all where you're at. It's where you end up when your back's to the mat. Do you cripple the flat or get up off your back? Deliver these facts to see them react. The stadium's packed, they all gonna snap. The motivated attract, the escalated attack, the frustrated hit back. Yeah, we move fast. I wanna change everything. I swear I'll do anything just to get where I wanna be. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. It's automatic, I'm always getting after it. If you ain't working, I don't understand what's happening. It's not enough time just to be imagining. You gotta take some action towards practicing. I know it's not easy, but you gotta get out there. Make your own meaning, can't afford to have doubts. They'll interrupt here, man, I just wanna look out there. The crowd all screaming. I wanna change everything. I swear I'll do anything just to get where I wanna be. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop till I'm free. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go. I won't stop, no. I won't let go. I won't drop, no. And I won't let go.
Hello, everybody. What is today? Today's Friday, November 25th, 2022. We're going to get into Kit here. I'm going to play some more of the video. I'm going to play the whole video and then the whole second video. What has caught my eye here is blood on a mattress, blood on a cabinet, and blood on floorboards. That the floorboards were replaced, and we're still digging into this one here, and we'll continue to dig into it. I'm going to share the poster here on Kit. Hold on here 1 second. All right, this is Kit. Let me see if I can make this any bigger. I think that's the biggest I can make it. Let me go this way. All right, this is Kit. Esmeralda Nelson Mora, a.k.a. Kit Nylana, was living in Omak, Washington, missing since April 22nd, 2022, was not reported missing until, I believe, it was September 2022. I'm new to this one too. Well, we'll get into it here. Kit is age 17, Native American, indigenous, brown hair, brown eyes, 5'2", 140 pounds, mental health needs, they, them, no pronouns. There is a sheriff's office here that took over. The phone number there is 509-422-7200. Dutch has made this new poster today. So let me see here. Hold on 1 second. All right. Let me go back to here. I just want to pull up another poster here. This is Finding Kit's page on Facebook. They did do a prayer vigil for Kit. I want to get into post real quick, and I'll read this. Since you guys are new to this one, we will let me see if I can. Oh, here it is. All right. Please listen to and share my story and visiting Finding Kit on Facebook to bring awareness to my story. I'm going to read this, but I'm going to take this down here for a second. I'm going to put the poster up while I read this. All right, so there's that. And then I'm going to read this while you guys can see the poster there. So please listen to and share my story and visit Finding Kit on Facebook to bring awareness to my story. My name is Kit, aka Esmeralda Mora. The woman to the right, which is a picture here, is Lori Sue Nelson. She gave birth to me 17 years ago. Due to extreme abuse and neglect, I was removed from her care at the age of 4. I was finally safe, free of her evil and hate that she carries for her children, or so I thought. Fast forward 12 years later, Lori Sue came back for me. She cunningly convinced me that she loved me and intended on giving me the family I have never had, in a home filled with love and acceptance. So I packed my things and said goodbye to everyone and everything I knew: my best friends, my school, my great grandparents, my family, everything, to take my chance to have my mama and experience the motherly love and bond I only ever heard about. Despite the past, I look forward to a promised and bright future. After coming to Omak, Omak is Omak, Washington. Coming to Omak, we started our family. Unfortunately, my honeymoon was short-lived, and quickly turned from bad to worse. Lori Sue knew of my struggles with many things, including my identity struggles, and I was led to believe she loved me for who I am, no matter what. But I was wrong, very, very wrong. She quickly began the cycle of abuse once again, but only this time it could lead to my disappearance. Being 16, Lori Sue thought I was her competition instead of her child. She became convinced I was seeking the attention of her boyfriend, Kenneth Diaz. She went as far as pushing me down a flight of stairs after I denied sleeping with or trying to seduce Kenneth, causing me to break my foot and went untreated. My family has no idea of everything I endured while in Lori Sue's care. All they know now is that I am gone. I have vanished. After my family learned of my disappearance, they jumped into action and began working to find me. A conversation started. Missing child posters were created, and a deep fear set in. Lori Sue and Kenneth Diaz not only tore down my posters, they fled Omak and moved to East Wenatchee overnight. When Lori Sue and Kenneth Diaz's apartment was cleared out, there was a bloody mattress was found, and for some reason, flooring was torn out, and a massive amounts of bleach were used by the landlord or homeowner at the Stampede Apartments. Why? Please help me. Don't let me get forgotten. They say it takes a village, and we know it's going to take the help of many to find me and find out what happened. We understand that it can be scary to stand up and speak out, But please, if you know something, say something. Please contact the Omak Police Department. Let's see here. I think the Akanuga County Sheriff's Office took over at 509-422-7200. For all of you that are listening here, this one has caught my eye because a kid was living in Yakima at one point with her grandparents. I did bring up a little thing here. I'll put this one on the screen. It is an article from our Yakima Herald Republic. Missing Omak teen with ties to Yakima added to Washington State Police list of missing Indigenous people. There's a picture of Kit. A young Indigenous person who is missing from Omak is on the latest Washington Patrol list. So there's that Indigenous person section within it. It's unidentified persons unit. More information, please visit there. We're just seeing what else they say in here. Nothing much. There was another little piece here that was covered. Family friends hold vigil for missing Omak teen with ties to Yakima. This was done on November 14, 2022. Looks like they're at some type of a pavilion here. So there's another article there. We're going to get into what the family says, though. We're going to watch a couple videos. I'm not going to pause it through them. I'm just going to kind of let them play out. I'm going to remind everybody now of trigger warning so that anybody that gets upset, there is a lot of graphic details in it. So just so you know, definitely if you're here right now watching, please hit the thumbs up because the next little bit of segments is going to be kind of gruesome on how they treated their parent or how they treated their kids. So we'll go there now. I think it's this one. Give me 1 second here. Hi, Kelly Dime. Hello, Bama fan, Annie J, Sluggish Sleuth, Dazed and Confused, Bama fan, Dree, hello. Alicia, hello. Running for the Missing, hello. Welcome in. And anybody else in the back that's listening. All right, I am almost to the video here.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're good. Okay. Sorry. You know, good to have you actually like speaking on here.
All right, this is Kit's sister. So we will watch some of this here. Somebody's gonna come up and ask a bunch of questions. This is a trigger warning. Let me see if I can do a banner. There we go. All right, we'll watch this. I'm going to mute out and let it play.
Come on, it's okay. We both have anxiety about it, but I haven't had a chance to make it up there. I really want to go up there, but I'm a little worried that if I go up there that you know, I am the poster of things, so but that's okay. I don't care. I'll still go up there. I just gotta make my way. Yes! Yay!
Hey,
This makes
sorry
it
it's on these circumstances, but how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. No, this makes it way easier because I'm just
Right.
sitting here to like talk and I'm like, I don't even know what to say. I'm like looking at delayed comments.
Right. It's hard to have like a conversation to yourself. You're like, so wait, what now? Yeah.
And I'm sitting literally for the past like however long I've been live. I'm like, oh yeah, I just don't know what to talk about. So here we are. I'm here,
Right.
hiding in the bathroom.
Really hiding from the kids, guys. Well, so there's 5 people in here. Maybe if we could ask people to share the live, I'm gonna go ahead and share it right now myself. If everybody else wants to do that, go ahead and invite people to come in, maybe, and then we can kind of start going over stuff. Hey, Crystal, how are you? I haven't seen you in forever. I hope your house is doing good there in Florida. That was super scary, girl. I can't believe you guys wrote it out at home. I give you a lot of credit. I'm like, yeah, my friends in Florida are gangster. Like, hurricane, no problems. We're gonna ride that out, right, guys?
Might as well.
Right? It's expensive to evacuate. Let's be honest. I mean, who has money for gas, hotel? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
Yeah. So, I guess where do you want to start? I mean, do you want to start like talking about basically like what you guys know or when you found out? I mean,
well, see, this is what I mean. I don't even know. I don't know where to start. I guess from the beginning.
Yeah,
would
right.
probably be the best. Yeah.
So I know that you guys kind of found out like not right away when it happened.
Yeah,
no. And so that kind of like left you guys kind of in a like not a good place, like almost like standing back here at first base and they're already running on. So once you guys found out, you guys went ahead and contacted the police, but nobody had contacted them really before other.
Exactly. So what happened was, a friend of Kit's or Esmeralda's had contacted me asking basically, how do you get a hold of Kit? How do you, and I was like, well, funny story. I don't,
right.
We don't talk anymore. We haven't been close in a really long time. I just, and they were like, oh, okay, well, do you know where they were living? And I was like, last I heard they were in Omak with their mother. And I gave that friend, and I won't say the name because they're a minor as well, but I gave that friend the information that I had of like Lori's name. We didn't have an address at the time because my dad didn't. I was like, this is all I know. And they took it and ran with it. They went to Omak with their grandma and went to go find Kit. And they ended up going to the police department, and the police department reached out to Lori, and Lori was like, oh yeah, no, Kit ran away in April and with a boyfriend or girlfriend. From my understanding, what was said was like, Lori was like, oh yeah, no, I was at work when they left. I had seen them packing, and when I came home, they were gone.
I guess it would help if I unmuted. So this was April of 2022, is what the mother is saying, and that the mother is not on the screen here. The mother took off the night after in September when they finally got a hold of them. So I'm gonna let it continue to play. So just to give you a little background, in April of 2022 is when the mother says that Kit took off, or Esmeralda, and then in September is when, so you got April, May, June, July, August, September. So that's 6 months where nobody had talked to Kit at all. So that's a long period of time. So we're going to continue on here.
and which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because why would you do that as a
Yeah,
mother?
like as a parent, why aren't you going to make sure that you know where your kid is?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's like, I get it. Like, if, okay, so say like Lori was like, oh yeah, okay, so they don't want to live with me anymore. Set something up then,
Yeah. Like
Reach
you
out
make
to
sure the
people.
other parties
Yeah.
involved know something, like,
Exactly. It's not just,
or and at least as a parent know who your kid's going with then. Like,
Yeah.
all right, fine, you guys are going to find your own way. You're going to go on your own, but at least have a name and a phone number to get a hold of you at
Exactly.
some point.
It doesn't make
Right.
sense to know nothing.
No, not at all. And then, so what happened next? Yeah.
And then after that, I kind of like posted like a little screenshot on the page, but basically the friend had come to me and told me what they found out. And I was like, okay, that's weird. That doesn't sound like them. Why would they run away? Like, I've known them since they were 4 years old. Like, why? That doesn't sound like them at all. They wouldn't leave little kids alone. That was kind of like my first red flag was like, okay, I know that they watched their younger siblings. Why would they leave the kids alone?
Yeah.
That's not like them. That's not what they would do because, they used to help my dad with my small children. So I knew that, like, that's not,
This isn't equal up.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And so I was like, okay, well, I started telling my mom, I think Megan had found out because I had told basically everybody in the family. I was like, okay, listen, something's not right. Like, kid's gone.
Yeah.
We don't know where, I don't know what happened. Kid's gone.
Right.
And from there, it went to, okay, we need to file a missing persons report. And the police just weren't taking it. They're like, oh, no, the mother has to file. Oh, yeah, no, very sheltered. Very sheltered. Night. But
sheltered life, yeah.
Yeah, no, we were all like, okay, missing persons report. Police were like, no, can't do it. We went to the Yakima Police Department to try and get a police report filed. They wouldn't take it because, this isn't the county they went missing in. And we were like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. We get it. And then we called the sheriff's department because they would have a little bit more jurisdiction based on, where Kit had lived here.
Right.
And they were like, yeah, no, not here, can't do it. And then I basically started blowing up Okanagan County Sheriff's Department because that's where they are,
Yeah.
And they were telling me, oh no, Lori has to file a missing persons report. You have to get the mother to do it. You have to do this, you have to do that. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. I'm telling you that something's not right. Why does the mother, I was like, and the mother doesn't even have legal custody.
Yeah.
Like,
and now, when was the last time they had posted online as well? Like, Kit?
I think the exact day was either November 11th. I think it was November 11th of 2022.
Okay. Of 2022 or 21?
2021. We're not
2021. So, I mean, and most teenagers are pretty on their phone. So, like,
right.
To not be posting anything since November of 21 that's very strange. And then the school, come to find out at the school too, that they hadn't been going for quite some time.
Exactly.
Do you remember the dates on that?
So, a friend from the high school in Omak had said that Kit didn't really go to school often anyway, but they didn't see them after Christmas at all. After
Christmas break at all. And then it took them all the way until it was March or April to unenroll.
No, it was January 11th that the school
wow, okay, so earlier.
They unenroll because they're not showing up.
Wow.
And when I spoke to the school, they said that, because I spoke to the guidance office, and they basically said, oh yeah, we tried to follow Becca Bill procedure, but we couldn't get a hold of the mom, and they're already old enough that they can make the decision whether or not they want to go to school anyway. So.
But even though no parent, no legal guardian, nobody had signed them out.
Exactly.
They just let them stop going to school. It was okay.
Yeah.
So that's like another part of the system there kind of failing at the same time, which is kind of sad. Yeah.
And then you go into, their mom having said that they ran away in April.
Right.
And that, I don't know. So that alone to me is weird because that is Kit's birth month.
Right.
You were born April 22nd. So it's like, that's an easy month to remember. It's
almost too convenient.
Exactly. And then Kit being missing, you lead into the CPS case that has been opened and Kit not even being mentioned in it. They didn't mention to anyone that the child had run away.
Right. So you're going through the CPS case, you're having your other children removed, and you don't even think to mention at that time that, hey, by the way, we're over here and I'm missing another child too.
Yeah. Oh, my fire alarms are going off.
Not scary at all. That's not terrifying.
No, it just means that, typical chicken nuggets are burning.
Pizza burning, no big deal.
Yeah, no, the usual.
Yeah. Okay, so CPS thing happens there, and it was in June, correct?
Yeah, it was June 17th of 21.
So yesterday when I was at the apartment complex, I actually ran into the neighbor that called CPS. Yeah, because they had, I'm not going to name any names or anything because it's a minor, but a minor had helped out in the home and had been babysitting and came home and told their parents about what they saw after they'd been told not to go to this room that was locked because if you give these babies attention, then I'm going to have to give the babies attention. Yeah. And so when the teenager had come home and told their parents, the dad said, he was like, I've never called CPS on anybody my entire life. He's like, and I felt like I had to. So that's pretty interesting. You know, so you've got all that kind of leading up to, right? And coming into all that.
And then you add in the fact that the mother's family members are coming forward and saying so much, like that she's capable of murdering her child, and that she's capable of, you know, trying to set a family member's bed on fire. And
I mean, literally set somebody's bed on fire with them in it, and the person is scarred from that. Like,
yeah. And then I know that my nephew, who actually is Kit's father, she's absolutely like, I mean, she's basically beaten him more than anyone I know, you know, like, well, Megan can say more about that because she's his girlfriend, and I was really young when all that happened, so I don't remember a whole lot. I just remember, you know, my mom always coming home and being like, oh my gosh, she did it again, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
And police would constantly get involved with them. I remember that a lot too.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's just, and then I know that there's that one report that the person made about there being that blood being cleaned up in the apartment. Like it was like an extreme amount of blood or whatever at the time. And that hasn't been necessarily confirmed or whatever, but they also haven't been investigated by the police either.
Exactly.
So,
Megan had showed everything to officers, and I don't remember exactly, but I think Megan said that they sent an officer to Lori's apartment. And the officer kind of like walked through, checked closets and stuff to see if anybody was in there. And he basically came out and was like, oh, I didn't see any blood. But this would have been
like it wouldn't be cleaned up in the last, like, you know, how many months? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I mean, we all watch Dateline and like all those shows, right? Like what any luminol used? Because you find everything with that. I mean, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like over here, like,
it doesn't make sense to just walk through a home and be like, oh yeah, no, I didn't see any blood. Especially with that CPS case, because this is what I was thinking. With that CPS case being open, obviously they're going to have to go through and completely clean the home, because I've had my own open. I know what that is like to have to make sure, okay, my home needs to be clean, my home needs to be right. And you'd have to clean all that up. There's no way that a cop would come in and see blood. But if they were to come in and use forensic equipment, I guarantee there'd be a lot of blood there because of the abuse that happened with those other children.
Yeah, and the other stuff that's been said, and yeah.
Exactly.
That's pretty scary. I'm like, so I don't even know what word to say, like, from that. I'm like, you know, it's just scary. Yeah. You're like, as a parent, that's scary. That's terrifying as a parent to think that, like, yeah. No.
Well, and thinking about all of it, you know, and Kit themselves is so quiet and so reserved and so anti-confrontational and very sweet. And, you know, yeah. I even when we were like younger siblings, and we would argue like siblings do.
Yeah.
You know, they were always the first one to just kind of be like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I kind of be like, oh yeah, I bet you are, you know, like Brad's older sister, because there's a 6-year age difference between us.
Right.
So, you know, I was like the older sister that they were trying to like look up to and act like, and I was always like, oh dude, get the hell away from me. Like,
yeah, you're like, this is a lot. I'd
be like, unless you want me to do your makeup, go away. Basically, because I was like, that's all I cared about at the time was makeup.
That's fun though.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know that, like, you know, we've been putting up posters and all that kind of stuff here. And I know that you guys are talking about being back in town, you know, here in the future. You know, I hope that everybody is sharing the page, you know, and sharing the page that you created, sharing the YouTube video, you know, sharing all the flyers. I mean, I don't know. I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, around town, if you guys are local, maybe like make it into something. Like if you see one of the posters, take a picture of it and post it, you know, just why not? You know, if you're local, it's not going to hurt anybody, you know, so we'd probably appreciate it, and it would help to keep spreading it and getting more and more people doing it, you know. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. This is also crazy. I still, like, I wake up and I'm like, oh, bad dream.
I bet. I mean, how could you not?
And then I look at my phone and I'm like, oh, not bad dream. This is real. This is something that's going on.
Yeah. Well, and so what are the police kind of saying from here? I know that you guys had spoken with the tribal police. I know that you guys got the missing person register number, which is pretty important. So what are they?
From my understanding, it's not like an ongoing search with the police because they are 17 years old. It's just kind of, if you see something, say something, you know, if a report's made, because at this time, obviously we have a lot of people saying like, oh, we think that this person is capable of this. We think that this is what happened. We have so many theories floating around, but we don't have any hard evidence. I mean, we haven't heard from Kit. Kit hasn't come forward and said anything. We don't know where they are. Lori isn't saying anything. She's not.
Well, and if Kit's here in Omak at this point, I mean, there are posters everywhere. So I would hope they would see that and, you know, make the phone call.
Reach out to somebody.
Somebody, you know, and say, you know, either stop or whatever, you know. And I know that there's been mention of possible trafficking in the Brewster area. I know that had been mentioned or something, right? And then I know that there have been a few people said that
Hold on.
they thought they'd seen them.
Police said they're going to investigate and take over jurisdiction and follow up, but we haven't heard anything back yet. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So that's good. Tribal's doing
That
something.
is good. Tribal, yeah. I would say they probably are pretty on it. I mean, usually are.
I would imagine so.
Yeah. And take it really seriously. And it happened over there. So, we're on the east side there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't even know anything about Omak. The only thing I know about Omak is that it's very close to the Okanagan County Jail.
Oh yeah, yeah, we're like the town next door.
Literally,
yeah, we're
the only thing I know about it.
Yeah, it's a cute little town mostly, but this is pretty. I mean, honestly, it's pretty big for around here, to have somebody missing like that.
Yeah.
And it's just surprising, especially a kid,
Right.
And then I know there have been some reports that people I've personally I've talked to up at
right.
76 and stuff at the gas station, and I've had a few homeless people, mention to me that they thought they had seen, Kit previous, but it's not confirmed, and none of those people are willing to call a number. I've given them, flyers and asked them to call, but I don't think the likelihood is going to be high,
Well, I know
and then it's like how reliable is it?
Being on the streets myself at one point, it's like, people are like, oh, see something, say something. And even though I would speak up very often, when I would notice something not right, a lot of people don't want to, because if, it is a trafficking situation, they're like, yeah, no, not about to get involved with that. I don't want to die. I'd like to live. If it is, a drug situation, you want to keep a junkie when you're on the streets, Yeah. And that's the way it is, because how else are you going to make your money? How else are you going to be able to manipulate them to do what you want them to do?
Which is scary.
So if that is the case, that's absolutely terrifying. But you know what? I think that's better than
it's a best case scenario in this situation, unfortunately, maybe. Yeah. Well, I guess really best case scenario is they ran off with their new partner and living a happy life somewhere. Yeah.
Maybe became
living some perfect life somewhere.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Fingers crossed, Does anybody here in the live have any questions or, about the timeline maybe or anything? No?
I know, it's so hard. Well, it's because the comments come up and they're a little bit delayed, when they pop up on the screen and stuff, and so I'm always like, oh yay. Yeah,
no, I know. I'm like, oh, look, they said something about what? But yeah, I think that the puzzle pieces, it's as they're coming in, it's scary.
There's
I think
a lot of what we've kind of put together, in the little group chats that part of me wants to talk about, but at the same time, it's
I don't want to either. It's I don't know if those are cards to lay on the table, maybe. So that's why I'm kind of holding.
Yeah, well, because I want to bring it up because it's you put so much together in your head and you're like, oh my gosh, you don't want to sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist.
Yeah. Well, and then some of it too, I'm I don't know. Yeah, it's just serious. It's really, really a sad, serious situation. And it feels, like you said, it almost feels like a dream. It's
yeah, it doesn't feel real.
As a mom, I just can't understand the period and length of time to go without trying to find your own child.
Well, see, that's how I feel too. Because like I said, I literally my kids are with both of their dad. Yeah. I want to look out there right now. I'm like, okay, I gotta make sure they're okay. I can hear them. I know they're fine.
Yeah.
But I want to look out there and be like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, the house isn't really on fire from that noise, right?
I know. And I can't imagine. They walk 2 feet away from me in a grocery store. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing?
For real.
Where do you think you're going? Somebody's gonna come take you. Stop it. Things like that.
Yeah, but I think that's normal, right? Especially with how crazy this world is, And it's it makes me sad that, I can't believe that the school didn't say something, that the school didn't ever, that one, it blows me away. Because, when we talk about the Becca Bell, it's well, what is that even really there for then?
Yeah.
So Crystal wants to know why the mom didn't report them missing. She doesn't understand.
I don't think any of us do. So I guess I could probably talk on that. So when that reporter had done that article that we've been sharing for I don't remember what the news thing. I think it's I-Fiber 1 or something like that.
Right, I-Fiber 1.
Yeah. When they had done that, they contacted Lori, and Lori had basically said, oh, well, this is where Lori changed her story a little bit. Lori had said that she was under the assumption that Kit had run away to go see family in Yakima. So she didn't feel it was necessary to report.
Right. So that was a change of a story right there.
Exactly. And the only reason I haven't posted that specific screenshot is because I don't know the legalities of that with it coming from the reporter when Lori had said that she didn't want that out there. So I don't know the legalities of that. That's the only reason I haven't posted that screenshot specifically. I don't want to get them in trouble.
Right. And then, knowing that they were transgender, I know that there were some text messages and some reports where Lori was quoted saying, I would beat the gay out of my child, and that she was forcing them to wear dresses and to dress girly, even though that was not what they wanted to be doing. I mean, I think that that's maybe, I'm not saying that's why they didn't report them missing, but there obviously would have been other things leading up to the going missing.
Right. Well, if you read the social media posts from Kit, from Twitter, because I think that's all that we have is Twitter.
Right.
and what we're kind of going off of for timeline wise, because they haven't had a Facebook in a very long time, since before that.
Right.
Which, whatever, Facebook kind of sucks anyway.
Right, let's all be honest. Sorry, guys.
So
It's me on TikTok.
yeah, they had posted, and everything basically outlines transphobia from Lori. From teaching, you know, the children, the smaller children, like, oh, you can't call Kit your brother because they have boobs. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but
you can. And yeah, there's a lot of man boobs out there, man.
Yeah.
Someone should be wearing bras. No offense, guys.
Honestly, yeah. But no,
I have to. You have to.
It's insane. It's insane to me, because it's like, to me, how could you?
Right, Crystal. I knew Crystal. Sorry, Crystal's. Yeah, I knew you would care, Crystal. I know. Sorry, I don't want to say why, Crystal, but yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
It just blows my mind. It just absolutely blows my mind. How can you look at your child and not love them regardless, and, you know, just
for who they are, no matter what. Exactly.
And that's one thing that really irks me, is that when Kit was over here, you know, they had always mentioned, like, they had never come out and said, oh, I'm non-binary, oh, I'm trans, you know, they had never, like, said anything like that. But you could kind of tell, like, there was a lot of questioning going on. Kit had dated a girl. She had never dated a guy. She had crushes on guys, but different things like that, you know. And then one day they came out and were like, you know what? I'm asexual. And I was like, dude, I wish I was.
Like, I wish somebody had told me that was an option prior.
Right. You know, like,
I'm old, so it wasn't back then, you know, but I wish.
To be more accepting of that. We were always trying to, you know, do better and try to let them know that we accept that.
Encouraging them to find themselves, correct. Yeah.
Exactly. And I'd always told them, you know, like, through everything, I was like, I love you. I hope that everything, you know, you can figure yourself out, because I still don't know who the hell I am half the time.
Right. Exactly, Crystal.
Exactly.
No matter what your child, you know, decides to do in life, you love them, you know. And
another thing that really is concerning to me about this whole situation, obviously, aside from just Kit being missing because that's family, but Kit has severe depression and anxiety, and they have exhibited self-harming behaviors before. So it almost makes you wonder, with all of that pressure from Lori, you know, if Lori maybe didn't do something, did Kit do something?
Right. And I know that something has happened to another of Lori's children, correct?
Exactly. Yeah. That was last year. I don't remember exactly when, but it was last year, and I do remember Kit. It was back when Kit was still living with us, actually. They were very upset. They had just spoken to the person that had done that, actually, and then it was, I think, a couple days later, they heard that had happened, and it was really just devastating for them. And I think that's part of what pushed them to go stay with their mother.
Right, was the loss of the sibling there.
Yeah, they were. I can't even imagine. And then on top of, you know, the love bombing and getting all these brand new gifts from, you know, the mother that you just so desperately wanted.
Always have wanted your mom to come into your life, and here she comes on this white knight horse, you know.
As much as Kit had denied and always said, oh, I want nothing to do with my mom. I don't want anything to do with my mom. I never want to know my mom. I never want this. I never want this.
Of course.
And then, you know, as they've got older and started experiencing their own mental health issues, and I would kind of be like, well, you know, maybe if you reach out, maybe she's gotten better. Maybe she can help you through it. Maybe she can kind of tell you what some of her diagnoses are, and you can, you know, go off that and tell your doctor and be like, hey, like, so this is what my biological mother has. Is it possible that I have this as well? So like that kind of had started that. And then Lori had reached out to them on Facebook and then asked them, oh, can I send you some money? Can I buy you something for your birthday? Different things like that.
Yeah. Very manipulative. Very, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start off with the shiny new things and.
Yeah. And then once I've got you here, I'm going to lock you in a room and have you babysit my kids and not go to school anymore. And treat you absolutely horribly, because there are reports of, you know, other abuse happening.
Exactly.
You know, yeah. So it's not like it was like some great situation, unfortunately, you know.
Yeah, it really sucks, because, you know, as like a family, we're kind of like, wow, how did we not see this coming? You know, like, because it makes, well, at least for me, it's like, oh my God, I feel like an idiot. How could I have supported this? But at the same time, it's like, you know.
I feel like narcissists can paint a really good picture sometimes, you know, and they come in and they paint this picture that is so beautiful and perfect that you're like, you can't help but believe it and be like, oh my gosh. I think all of us have been in that position where we've been fooled by somebody before that you really believed in, you know, and unfortunately in this position, and for Kit, it was their parent, you know, it was their mom. That's the ultimate betrayal, right?
I think the hardest part for me was in supporting this whole thing was because, you know, my own biological mother was also kind of like not abusive. She was just really young when she had me. And she was on drugs. And I remember growing up and saying, okay, I'm going to meet her and she's going to be great. And we're going to be so close. And then I meet her and she's not great and we're not close, you know, like.
Yeah, so it's hard, because like, you have a romanticized version of what it's going to be for yourself, of course, you know. I think a lot of us do that for a lot of things, right? You know? Yeah, like, I mean, I think we all romanticize our lives to a certain extent, you know, and then that letdown is like, damn, man.
Yeah,
you know,
like you have your newborn and you're like, oh my goodness, this is so great. And then
it's gonna be so fun.
They're 2 years old and they start screaming at you and they have your attitude and you're like, oh, you're so cute, go to bed.
Well, yay, wait till they're 17.
Yeah.
Love it. Super fun all the time.
Oh, man.
Never complaining. So, but yeah, I'm like, I don't know if anybody else had any other questions or anything. But yeah, I don't know. It's just been a lot, you know, I think for you guys as a family. And I think since you guys have found out and since you've known, you guys have done above and beyond. I mean, you guys have really been doing everything. I mean, you guys have gotten news articles written out. You have a missing persons case. You have a YouTube video. You have content creators sharing and making videos. You guys have filed reports with all of the agencies possible. I mean, I think that at this point, like, all you can do is keep sharing, and keep flyering and keep talking and keep doing lives and getting the word out. I think that's the best you can do. And I think you guys should give yourself a lot of credit though for that, because I know it's hard. Like, this is a really hard situation.
Yeah, I think
I don't envy you at all.
Came so much out of anger. I was so pissed off. Obviously, if you look down my personal Facebook, the posts that I've made in regard to Lori and the whole situation. But I think a lot of it still stands strong because I'm pissed off. And it's like I'm so angry about the whole situation. I don't understand it, and it doesn't make sense to me. And it's like I posted all this out of anger, and now it's getting seen, and people are understanding the type of person that Lori really is, and they're understanding like not only does Kit need to be found and protected, but so do these smaller children.
Yeah.
And it's not easy because CPS is failing everyone. CPS has failed so many children that have been in that home.
Yeah.
Some have gotten out and some are safe, and that's wonderful. But she keeps having kids. She keeps doing this, and it's like I get it. You want to eventually, maybe she has some dream of being a good mom, and I want to sympathize with that.
All romanticize things, right?
Yeah, but like I said, she's a piece of shit. So something needs to be done. That needs to be stopped.
Yeah.
The kids need to be protected, and they're not at this point, and it's scary because how can CPS have those allegations and allow those children back into that home so soon?
I don't understand how they're back, but I don't work for CPS, so I can't give any answers. But I mean, it's a little mind blowing, to be honest. Yeah.
Right. And like I when I've spoken to like my own previous caseworker, she's just as in shock.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I see like new people are joining. I don't know if you want to talk about like what was in that report at all, and I don't know if that really even matters. I mean, I don't know, whatever you want to do, but I'm like, I don't know. But I know that
it's definitely relevant information.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, what can you
it's really like, I don't know if you want to either though. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I know that. So January 21 is the last time somebody had really physically seen Kit really though. Is that right? Or?
I'm not positive. I don't know.
That was the last time they were online though. So
the last time they were online was November of 21.
November of 21. Okay.
Yeah. And then the last time that anyone supposedly has seen them, if you go off of Lori's story, is April of 22. If you go off of anybody else's story, it's November or December of 21.
That's scary.
Yeah.
November, December of 21. It's a long time ago.
Yeah. That's literally basically a year ago.
We're coming up on a year.
Yeah. And we didn't even hear about it until a week ago. Which I'm sure plenty of people are like, oh my goodness, like, why didn't you check on your family member, But as I've stated previously, very isolated child, didn't really like to speak to people, a lot of trauma to work through. We all kind of just assumed that that's what they were doing, was working through trauma. There was allegations that Lori had made against my dad, which is Kit's great-grandfather, of saying that he had made sexual advances towards Kit, which not true. It was completely unfounded. They had said, Lori had said that we had done, some kind of abuse, but wouldn't, say anything about what kind. I think it was just an isolation technique.
Yeah, it was just something to try and get them.
Yeah. And you know what? It worked. It worked. Yeah. And I'm ashamed to say that it worked, but it worked. I wanted nothing to do with Kit. I was like, you know what? If that's the case, if that's how you feel, if that's what you're going to say about my dad, goodbye.
Yeah.
So I loved him from a distance, and I just kind of always assumed, I was like, you know what? When they're 18, they'll come back and they'll say something.
Well, and I think a lot of times, what is it? You don't hear anything. You just assume it's okay, right?
Exactly.
It's not until somebody says, oh my gosh, there's something wrong, that you're like, oh shit, there's something wrong. You didn't know, and what is it? No news is good news, right?
In November of 21 as well, before all this, before I had even like actually kind of thought that anything was actually wrong, I was like, oh, you know what? We haven't heard from Kit in a really long time. Might as well, I'm just gonna call the cops and see if they'll do a welfare check. And they ended up doing a welfare check, and that's when those allegations were stated. And so, yeah, that's kind of what's crazy. And so it's like, okay, Lori had seen us trying to reach out and was like, I don't think so.
Wow. And now when they went out and did that wellness check, they did see Kit, Kit at that time.
They said that it was Kit. I don't know, because I don't know if they would know what, they look like.
Right.
It could have been, you know, some other person there. They just said that it was a lady holding a baby. So it could have been Lori that they spoke to. It could have been, I don't know who they spoke to. Oh, babies are trying to go to bed.
Yeah. I was like, nobody wants to go to bed.
And say goodnight.
Yeah, I was like, I'll let you go. Thank you guys for coming and being here and being with the live.
All right, so there's that part. So we found out November 20th in 2021 was the last time of known contact, and that was only through social media. The mother, which is not on the screen, the mother stated that Kit ran away in April of 2022, and then they were checking on Kit to make sure Kit was okay on in September. I think it was September 28th. That is when they found that Kit went missing or ran away in April 2022. So things don't add up. There was a bloody mattress and blood on floorboards. And I have another interview here that they did. And there's some news articles and stuff too as well. This one was done October 22nd is this new one here. This one's a little bit longer. Thank you for being there. So we're going to let this one play through too. This is Kit. This isn't Kit. Hold on here. I'll bring up Kit's picture one more time. This is Kit. Kit went missing. I think this says April 22nd, 2022. Was not reported until September of 2022. Kit is Native American, brown hair, brown eyes, 5'2", 140 pounds. And if you have any information, call 509-422-7200. This is in the Yakima, Omak. Omak is Kit lived in Yakima with her grandparent or with their grandparents, and then moved with their mother in at some point in time and moved to Omak. Omak is 3 hours north of Yakima in Washington. It is said that Kit ran away in April 22nd, 2022 to go back to Yakima. We don't know whether that's true or not. We're going to get into the updates on this other one right here. So this was done October 16th, 2022. We'll let this one play. This one's different than the other one. So I'm going to speed it up here and we'll play it. Does anybody have any questions? So did Kit have a relationship with anyone? I don't know where the wind blows. I don't know. Hi, Duchess. And welcome in everybody else that's coming in. So give me 1 second here. We'll play this one. I'm going to mute back out and see what these updates are here.
Go on here on my laptop and moderate. Hi. Come on, Margaret.
Hey there.
Hello. Oh God, I couldn't see my for a second.
I was like, oh my God, it's dark.
I know. I was like waiting here. I'm like sitting there and I was like, can I moderate from my computer or do I need to do it like for somebody else?
Right? I'm going to shoot one more thing.
Okay, we've got 4 people.
Sorry. Not that we don't love my niece, but we're going to go ahead and move that just because, yeah, you know, keeping kids safe, no offense.
Yes. Hi, Megan.
I can't
All
see
right.
as people join. I'm not seeing like words.
I know. I'm like seeing like the little.
Mine still says you have joined the video as a guest,
Well, at least we know you're here.
right, Michael?
Okay. I guess we could start with like kind of like who I am and then who you are. So I'm Charlotte. I am Kit's older sister. We had Kit living with us from the time they were like 4 up until they decided to go live with their mother. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean,
And when did they go live with their mother?
June 2021.
Okay, so they got there in June of 2021, and then the last anybody's heard of them was in November. So that's not really a whole lot of time.
Yeah, no, they weren't there very long. That's like what, 8 months, 9 months?
8, 9 months.
Something like a whole pregnancy. I don't know.
So my name is Margaret like Target. I do TikTok, and I had been tagged in a bunch of the posts that your family had made. And so I reached out and contacted you guys. And from there, I've just been helping a lot, putting up posters, anything that I can do to help. So.
I know, huge help. So many posters.
So the top person in here is Kit's sister, or Esmeralda's sister. They went missing in Yakima, or in Omak, Washington. The mother, when they called to do like a welfare check in September 2022, the mother stated that Kit took off in April 2022 and just left, and that would be considered a runaway. So her sister here, which is up top up here, started questioning everything, and started doing missing posters, and started spreading the word out there, and has done a very, very good job. I thought I'd come and help, as something doesn't add up here in this one, and it's not by these people. Kit was with her mother, which was Kit was taken away. I'm sorry, I said with her mother. Kit was with their mother. Kit is binary, so it's my first case of this, and I am going to make mistakes, and I apologize for making the mistakes. I'm trying my best here to they're trying to use those words. The perfect pause. Oh, yeah. I also want you to know that they have been out looking, spreading the word, got stuff registered. I came across this case from somebody else that was in the Pacific Northwest. It's okay. Don't be hard on yourself. It's an easy mistake. No, I know. I just try to be respectful when I cover the cases. And so the mother actually up and left in the middle of the night. We'll hear some more of the what's going on here in this, and then hopefully here possibly next week we'll get we'll schedule some time for there's another sister too, get them to come up, but the one on the top here is the sister. So we will continue on here.
So many posters. Thank you, Robin, so much. Only about 5 months, Megan's saying. Okay.
Oh, so like half of a pregnancy.
Really sad. Like when you think about it like that, like in only 5 months' time, the amount of things that happened that we're going to go over here today, right. I think it's pretty tragic and pretty dramatic if you really want to get into it. It's when she went there, Lori Sue was sober and was doing better. And very quickly that deteriorated. And very quickly Kit became a full-time babysitter to Lori Sue's children. And they were all being mistreated, horribly right. Mistreated. I think anybody can read the CPS report and see that it was an unsafe environment. And, I think it's a good thing to point out at that moment, Kit wasn't around, and that was when right. she had to say something, right? So.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy to me because she didn't even mention in the CPS report about Kit. So the whole story on her end doesn't make sense if you think of timelines, based on, you know, the new messages that I've gotten,
Right.
that were between Kit and one of their friends,
Right.
basically details, you know, domestic violence within the home when they first got there. Cause it was, I think August was when the messages were.
Right. So it was very quick.
Yeah. They talked about, you know, broken glass being found in the hallway in the morning. And,
right.
I mean, it leaves a lot for speculation. Like, we don't really know what happened, but we know what was said.
Right. Like, I feel like Kit was being a little bit discreet with what was being shared with the friends. Like, I think that you had taught Kit all about internet safety, and because of that, Kit was very smart about what was being shared. You know, like, I think they felt a very close connection with those online friends, but even then was holding back some of what was going on, because there was moments in the conversation where they were saying, oh, there isn't any domestic violence like that, you know, no hitting and stuff, but then 2 messages later, it's waking up to broken glass in the hallway and hearing yelling and screaming, and so you know more was going on even than what was being said in the messages. Yeah, I don't know. I really feel like there was definitely more domestic violence than anybody knew. I think that we've seen even messages about a neighbor saying they heard screaming, and then the smell of acetone with being cleaned. And, you know, like, there's a lot where, you know, I think it's seeing something and saying something is really important in life. And I think that's something to bring up even right now, that if you see something, you say something. You know, if you have a neighbor and you hear screaming and yelling and you think something could be wrong, make that call, you know. And I understand why some people don't, because they're scared of retaliation and all the things that can happen, you know. But no, we don't. We know that Lori Sue made a post saying, you know, selling herself and prostituting herself supposedly in the Wenatchee area, and we've got video of that, but that's not confirmed yet. Do you want to start in the beginning and go through the timeline together?
Yeah, that would be good. Sorry, I'm like looking at my laptop and trying to like look at the what are they called, the comments, like, which is hard because like I don't have the moderator link or whatever.
Right.
Actually, you know what, Megan, I think I can send you a link to moderate. So I'm gonna make Megan a moderator real quick.
I think that's smart. Yeah,
that way we have someone that can like go through and moderate comments.
You heard I had heard that she got an apartment in Wenatchee. I had heard that she was waiting for a gas voucher to be able to drive to Wenatchee to move. But the way that she moved is really suspicious. It was overnight. And later on, we'll go through some of the stuff that was found in the apartment. But the way that she moved out was very suspicious. I had looked her eye to eye literally the day before she decided to move out, as I was putting up posters for her missing child. And she didn't approach me. She didn't say anything. And I think that says a lot. Like, if you have a missing child and it's your missing child and you see somebody out putting up posters for your child, wouldn't you say, hey, can I get some of those? That's my baby.
Right. I know personally, like, you know, my kid walks too far away from me in a grocery store and I'm thinking about calling cops.
Exactly. So. Like, you're like, oh my gosh, let me get my kid. So, and I'm very disappointed no charges have been filed, but I think that we have to I'm trying to be patient, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, because as much as I want something to happen right this second, I'm trying to be realistic and understand that some of this stuff takes time. You know, some of the stuff we're going to go over, you know, closer to the end, you guys will hear about what the police are doing. So yeah, let's start from the beginning. You want to start?
Shit, sure.
Okay.
So basically, the way that we found out, so we had all been kind of isolated from Kit for basically from the time they moved there. They were in contact with their dad. They were in contact with their stepmother, which is Megan. They were in contact with all of their friends while they were up there, but they had stopped contacting me. They didn't talk to my dad, which is their grandpa that they lived with for a while, really at all. They didn't talk to their grandma, which is my mom, which, you know, whatever. We weren't too upset. We were like, okay, they're going through stuff.
I think Lori Sue was on purpose isolating Kit at that point. I think that a lot of stuff was being filled in Kit's head at that moment, things that we've seen and heard now. And I think that Kit was definitely being isolated. And I think that the phone and the usage and who was being contacted was definitely being monitored. You know, so I do think that part of that distance between you guys wasn't necessarily because that's what Kit wanted. It was because that's what Kit was allowed to do and what was being allowed. Yeah. And I think the punishment is pretty severe. Now, I mean, from the things I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that, but see, like, the reason that we weren't really concerned was because they did that frequently. They were very isolated, very reserved. And so it wasn't like out of character for them to not talk to family. It was kind of like, you know what? They have their stuff that they're working through. You know, a lot's happened over their life. Like,
and we're not talking like a year or two where you guys weren't talking. It was a 5-month period. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
Families go through that. I mean, there are times where I don't talk to some of my family members and siblings for 5 months and it's killing my heart the whole time. But we're all going through stuff and you have to work through that and then you get back to where you were, hopefully. And I think, like, you know, that's why you guys were giving that distance. Exactly. You guys were like being that understanding family that, okay, they're going through something. We'll be there when they get back.
Exactly. Has anybody asked law enforcement to request Kit be placed on the NC?
Exactly, Megan. You were giving them that space to bond with mom, siblings, respecting boundaries. I think That's exactly 100% spot on. You know, what you guys were doing. You were just doing the right thing. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, Lori Sue wasn't doing the right thing.
I believe Megan and Francisco have asked for Kit to be placed on the NCMEC.
I believe so, yeah.
And then, so November hits of last year.
Right.
And I hadn't heard from them. Nobody had heard from them really. And I was just kind of like, you know what? My mom is freaking out, hasn't heard from her grandkid. I'm going to call the cops and have them do a wellness check.
Right.
I had told my treatment counselor, because at the time I was in treatment, I was like, something feels wrong.
Right.
And she was like, well, if you feel that way, you know, trust your gut, call somebody. And I was like, okay,
Right.
yeah, you're right. So I called Okanagan County Sheriff's Department and I said, hey, this is what's going on. Something doesn't feel right. Like, I haven't heard from, you know, at the time I called them my sister because I was unaware of the change.
Right.
So I said, I haven't heard from my sister in like a super long time. And I'm just worried, like their mom's kind of crazy. So can somebody go look, like just check and make sure they're okay?
Right.
And at that point, police went and checked. They called us and said, everything's fine. They're fine. She just said she doesn't want to talk to you guys.
Right.
And we were like, well, that's shitty.
And what date was that? Do you remember? Or it was just sometime in November?
I don't remember the exact date. I want to say it was mid-November.
Okay. They were
not,
saying
like,
that they had
super
seen
late.
Kit at that time, or there wasn't really a confirmation?
They didn't specify. What they said was
Exactly.
The black-haired girl holding the baby.
Right.
And you know, I think everybody had black hair at the time. Like Kit had black hair at that point. I believe Lori Sue had black hair at that point
Right.
as well. So I'm not positive.
So Anika, that's a really good question. I have some opinions on that, but the truth is that the school did know that Kit wasn't attending, but we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, that is a really good point. And the school did go ahead and unenroll Kit. And here in Washington, they should have gone ahead and, you know, I can't remember the name of the act right this second.
Becca Bill?
Becca Bill. Yeah, they should have been Becca billed. And it's really weird that they didn't get Becca billed. And that's in my opinion, that's a mistake on the school's part. But we'll get to that because it is in the timeline. We have kind of like a timeline.
I think you're getting a call.
Sorry.
Okay, where were we? We were at, so when I did that, and then we went and hadn't heard from them, except I believe Lori Sue, I don't remember exactly when it was. I think it was also in November, had asked my dad for money.
Okay, I can barely hear you all of a sudden. Did your volume go down?
Oh, no.
Sorry.
No. Are we good?
It's weird. Can everybody hear us?
It might be because somebody tried calling you.
Yeah.
So you might have to turn your volume
Should I go
up.
out and come back in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
I'll remove you real back. Anyway, yeah, so send invite. Yeah, I think her volume just needed to be turned up. I think it automatically turned her volume down. Because I know sometimes my phone does that when I get a call. No, Kit has never run away, ever, at any point. That just wasn't something they did. Go and say, hey, can I go to my friend's house? And they would go to their friend's house, and usually it was their friend Amy. RCMP have had no contact with Kit. Sorry, I don't know what RCMP means. RCMP. Margaret, what's going on? Royal Canadian. No, they haven't, to my knowledge. No, so the Sheriff's Department hasn't had any contact with Kit, except for supposedly when I had done the wellness check back in November. I think it's because you're on the Finding Kit page, Margaret. Go back on your Facebook and then just view the live and I'll invite you. Or you can request to join. But so basically, nobody's heard from Kit. Like no police. Have a resource called when a loved one goes missing. Yeah, that would be extremely helpful. Yeah, because I'm already live off of Finding Kit, Margaret, so you have to go off of your personal. I feel like this stuff is so hectic sometimes. One moment. Request again because it just like went away. We're almost there. There we go. There we go. Okay, it says it's adding you. Technical difficulties. Anyway, I can kind of continue where we had left off at. So my dad had sent Lori Sue money. I believe it was $300 in 1 week, and then about a week later, he had sent her another $300. And then when he asked when it was going to be paid back, she completely blocked him as well. So yeah, I don't know. And then gosh, Margaret. Is easy. We need to reach out to, yes. Yeah, I think that would be smart as well. I've been told it's really easy to hop the border too, like to Canada. A lot of people are saying that, like, you know, they just kind of go and like nobody even checks if they have like passports or anything, depending on like where you try to go in and like who's working the border. Okay, Margaret, I approved you and it says it's adding you.
Sorry,
Okay,
I'm so stupid.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I knew we were bound to have some difficulties because
So
this is
sorry.
not something I do.
So sorry. Of course, it's on my end.
Hey, it's okay. It happens. We all have things like that. Anyway, so yeah, the money thing. Anyway, she ended up blocking my dad when he asked, you know, when are you going to pay me?
Right.
And that was when communication had cut off on his end completely. So he hadn't heard from Kit, but he was talking to Lori, and that was in November.
Okay, so November is really important, and there's some dates I think that kind of keep on coming up: the 7th, the 11th, and the 21st. And I think
Yes.
the 7th is the last time that anybody has really talked with Kit for 100% sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
specifically Kit.
yeah, so I think November 7th is something that like we need to really remember and know that like that's the last time that Kit talked to their friends online. That's the last time anybody has heard anything from Kit. From then on, it was Lori Sue on Kit's account accusing people of outrageous things, people that were just simply friends, just I think to push them away and to scare them so that they wouldn't contact Kit and not know that something had happened.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And I don't know what happened, unfortunately. You know, I don't know if she sold Kit. I don't know. I really don't know, you know, and I don't want to think the worst, but I just think it's important to be.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I think we have to kind of consider all possibilities. And like I've said, kind of to people privately, but I guess I can say right here, like, yeah, I'm expecting the worst and hoping for the best, because if you expect the best and, you know, something less than happens, then it's really disappointing. I think it's a lot more hurtful. But
the hope is to find Kit and bring them home safe. And, you know, no matter what, even if it doesn't matter, you know, the best case scenario is they possibly, unfortunately, are on drugs and out there. And maybe they don't even know right now that we're looking for them. You know, like there's a possibility they could be out there riding the rails and have no idea, you know, that they have family that loves and cares for them and is searching for them.
Right.
Right.
Lori is from, so she lived in Omak. I don't know where she's actually like from, but she's been in Omak, Spokane, Oroville. I don't know all the
Wenatchee.
Oh yeah, Wenatchee now.
Yeah, and Megan says yes, that she is originally from Omak. She knows the area really well. She has a lot of people here. It's kind of wild to me how many people she has here because of the stuff that's going on. But, you know, that speaks of their character, obviously. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And yeah, she has lived in Canada. And when she was in Canada, I believe that she committed a crime. Is that correct?
Yeah, I heard about some kind of crime being done.
Yeah. I think it was a robbery or something. It was something.
What can we do here in Omak to help? Do you have any leads or places to start? So Lori Sue lived in the Stampede Apartments.
Correct.
That's kind of our base.
Right.
So we know for a fact Kit was there.
Right.
At some point. We know that Kit went to Omak High School.
Right.
We know that January 11th is when Omak High School officially unenrolled them.
Right. And we know that they stopped coming to school in November. And
yes, because nobody had seen them after, they said before or after Christmas break.
Correct. And I know that there was a lot of kids that said that school, because I've been talking to a lot of the kids from the high school. My son is a high school senior. So even at the football game on Friday, I had at least 10 people come up to me and talk to me about, you know, the whole thing going on. And I had a bunch of kids letting me know that Kit loved school. It seemed to be an escape for them. It seemed to be their happy place. They didn't really talk about their home life. They kind of kept to themselves. They were very involved in art. In fact, they had been, able to be a teacher's assistant for one of the art
Yeah,
teachers.
they were really excited about that. They told my dad about that.
Correct. Which makes me wonder then, how come nobody, and I'm not blaming anyone, this is no blame game. Nobody really knew what was going on, and unfortunately, I do think the school dropped the ball a little bit on that part.
When I spoke to one of the guidance staff members, they said that Kit was unenrolled for lack of attendance.
Correct. And it's kind of funny because then where was that Becca bill? Why weren't they reaching out?
Yeah, why didn't they?
Why didn't
so
they
I
go ahead
asked
and
them
make
about
that?
And all they said was, well, we couldn't get a hold of Lori Sue and we couldn't get a hold of Kit, so we didn't really know.
Right. So at that point, why wasn't law enforcement called in? And I think that is a good point. And I do think that is a question that only Omak High School can answer, and I'm not trying to place blame on them because there's a lot of troubled kids, unfortunately, and I know that.
I think what happened is they were like, well, Kid's 17.
Yeah, they can sign out if they want to. So if they don't want to come to school, they don't have to. And I think that, yeah, it's genuinely, it's kind of one of those like catch-22 situations because they are at the age where they would have been allowed to sign out. So the school kind of just said, what are you going to do? Can't get a hold of them, unenroll them.
Yeah.
Exactly, Megan. I got a letter in regards to the Becca bill because my son needs to be on time for school, and that's just me being honest. At that time, and there was odd behavior. Tanisha, yeah, exactly. I love Tanisha, and actually, Tanisha, I was talking to your daughter at the football game. I love her. But it's honestly like a lot of people have reported that there was a lot of odd behavior. I have a neighbor that I spoke with when I was at the apartments, and the neighbor told me that their child had gone over to babysit for Lori Sue, and that the conditions that child saw, that the younger kids were in, and the things that were happening made them go ahead and report that to, DCF, and that's how they got taken away, eventually, due to that call-in. And I think that that's important that neighbor did speak up. That neighbor did say something because they were like, this isn't right, and I think, I'm not going to mention anybody's names because I was asked not to, but they should really be proud of themselves.
Right, definitely. The next oldest sibling in that home, I believe, is the twins, and I think they're only 5.
Right, and then there's another child, correct?
I don't even remember. So there's the twins, there's another little girl, and there's the baby boy.
Okay, so there's 4 that she has still, and nobody's heard. Nobody knows where those children are. Nobody's seen them physically since she left, so nobody knows where they are. I want to say that I think they're safe. I don't know, and until I have confirmation that they are safe, it makes me nervous, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get off. That's a whole nother story almost. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, and that's a sad thing. So I, people ask, what can we do around Omak? I've been putting up flyers all over the place. I think that pressure on Lori Sue, I'm not sure exactly why she left, but I know that there was a day I was putting flyers and I put one on her car. She'd already taken it off her car. I saw her sitting on the stairs, and then she has like a glass door that's there and then her front door. And she was staring out the glass door like this, looking directly at her car, saw me. I saw her saw me because I was going up to take a picture of her car for you guys. And when she saw me about to do that, I just looked her dead in the eyes and I didn't turn around. I just stepped backwards 4 steps and still took the picture. Right. And then I got out of there because, to be honest, I know Lori Sue to be violent and I don't want to have a problem myself. So I jumped in my car and got out of there. I'm not going to lie. She's not wanted right now. We're hoping that she will be, but she isn't at this time.
Basically, the police have said that we have like a lot of quote unquote circumstantial evidence, but not anything that's definitive enough to have warrants for her or to, put it in like, okay, this is a criminal investigation.
Right. Now, I will say we do have a private investigator that had come to you, correct? And that private investigator is willing to go and do some pro bono stuff for us.
Lori is Kit's mother. And the lady at the top of the screen here is Kit's sister / half sister, is what I have gathered. It is kind of confusing to understand all of it. When I do have them, because of the holidays, I don't want to push them to come up here, and they do work, and they do her sister, their sister that's on screen here does work. There's another sister as well, and they work as well. So I don't want to, with the holidays going on and having kids and stuff, I was trying to wait until afterwards to get them to come on and do ask them some questions and see if we can help anyway. I'm just trying to get caught up on what's already been put out there. And there may be one other little live that I do because I know the other sister did speak out. I just don't have that yet because I can't find it. Esmeralda is Kit's name, correct. And Lori is the mother. Esmeralda is her name. Has Kit ever had any trouble? I don't know. So we'll continue on here.
Us.
Yeah.
Do you know his? Do you have his name by chance? Or?
I don't.
Okay.
He's supposed to get back to me sometime like early this next week.
Yeah.
He said probably today, but you know, I wouldn't expect
Sunday.
that with all the information provided.
But I think
And
that that's really huge, and we are so appreciative and thankful. And I just wanted to take a moment to say that, you know, we're hoping that that will help us get somewhere with, you know, maybe we haven't thought of, maybe some leads that maybe we haven't been able to talk to. So we're really thankful for that. And if anybody has any contacts with any other PIs or anything like that, please, please, please send them our way. We need all the help we can get. Share this video, send it to all your friends, you know, please help us as much as we can, because we do want to spread the word and get Kit home. So November happens. Then you guys have you call in there in November, and they say that there's a black-haired girl there, but it's not really 100% a confirmation that it is Kit or not.
Right.
And then we go how much time there, and her friend comes here to Omak, right?
Right. And that was, God, it's so shitty because it was just, I think it was September. Yeah, that's last month. Yeah, that is last month.
Right. So they had in September, one of Kit's friends came to visit and came to kind of look for Kit a little bit. And when they were here, they realized that Kit was really nowhere to be found, and let your guys' family know. And then once your family knew, you guys were immediately on it. I mean, you guys, you know, let's be honest, Megan and Francisco were here the next weekend, putting up posters, talking to people at Grandma's Attic, talking to people all up and down, you know, Main Street, talking to the people over at Modern Electric, really going out there and making sure they got the word out, you know. And that's when I got tagged in some of the posts and how I kind of came into the picture. I had a few people.
Yeah, and I was just blasting everything on social media because that's what I know how to do.
Right. No, and then I had a few people tag me, and then I got in contact with you guys, and we've all been kind of working together ever since.
Yeah.
So, and then, Pound's note. Sorry, just reading what Jason said. Yeah, Jason, I do want to search the river, but we've got to get, you know, to that. So once I got involved, I started putting up posters. Robin, you know, started making these posters and putting them up all over town. Lori Sue, I think, felt a little bit of pressure and dipped out. The next day, we had gotten a tip that there was some furniture outside. So I went by and I grabbed pictures of everything that was out there. Just to document what was going on. I went up to the windows and I took pictures. And at that time, there was laminate flooring down in the kitchen. And then it was a seam. And then there's carpet in what looks like what would be a dining room kind of area right off of the kitchen. And so when I took the pictures, there was laminate flooring down. Now, it was another day or two later, we got another tip that there was mattresses outside. And we got a tip saying that somebody had seen inside the house and that there was blood on some of the stairs and in one of the rooms or something, correct?
Yeah, they said that there was a bloody mattress outside and then blood inside the apartment.
So when I got over there, I took video of the bloody mattress. I took pictures of the bloody mattress as best as I could see. I didn't touch anything, obviously. And at that time, I met the owner of the Stampede apartment complex. I'm not going to say her name. She said that she has been keeping up with everything that's going on and that she does really care for children and wants to be involved. At that time, I realized that they had already taken up that laminate flooring in the kitchen and it already had been removed. And I let her know at that time that please stop. You could be damaging evidence of a possible crime scene. I told her that she needs to stop what she's doing and call the cops. She said that there have been numerous people coming by already to the apartment saying that they used to live there, all sorts of stuff. And at that time, I told her, you know, you could tell she was visibly shaken. She told me that she really didn't feel comfortable talking at the apartments because she was worried about everybody that was watching. And so she asked me to please come back later. I went ahead and went home and did a little digging and got the phone number for the owner and gave that to Megan. And Megan went ahead and called and spoke with them. Do you remember a little bit more about like what was said to Megan?
So from my understanding, what was said to Megan was that person hadn't been able to go inside, and that hold on, sorry, I looked at a comment. I'm gonna answer this comment real quick. Yeah, so it was the Okanagan County Sheriff's Department that did the welfare check back in November. And yeah, you're right. We definitely need them to look at pictures and confirm who it was. I'm not sure what officer did it. I don't remember at this time.
I agree with that, yeah.
But I'm sure we could call and find out.
Right.
Anyway, they said that basically somebody had done the right thing. The mattress is gone. So what I'm assuming happened is law enforcement took it.
Right. And we know the police were there with gloves.
Yes.
And they were doing an investigation and they were going ahead and taking some evidence. We do know all that. And they did confirm with you some unfortunate but good to know information.
They did confirm that it was blood.
Right. They confirmed that it was blood and that the mattress was blood. And I will say that, in my opinion, I'm not trying to exaggerate or anything, but it was a lot of blood. As a mom, it made me I'm about to cry talking about it because it was scary. It was really scary. Like I was like, that's a lot of blood. And I didn't want to make a big, huge deal about it, but to have it going through as many layers of the mattress that it was a little bit unnerving.
Yeah, from what I can see from the pictures that you sent, it's definitely a lot. It looked like it was soaked.
Yeah, it had to be soaked to go through the mattress that deep. Because from the side is what I took the picture, and you can see that it's through many layers of it. And I think that is definitely, it's scary.
Extremely concerning.
Yeah. I think that's that moment where you have to be realistic, and it's really scary. And yeah. So they had already ripped out those kitchen floors. We had told them to stop. They went ahead and they did search the property again. They did take evidence. And then from there, that's really where we're at, and we know that Lori Sue has escaped to Wenatchee. We know that Lori Sue is prostituting herself to make money. We know that she's charging, $100 an hour for a company. We know that her wording, even in her post for that on TikTok, was really weird. The wording was very weird. Do you remember what it said?
Actually, I can look at that because I'm on my laptop right now. Hold on. I can go to the picture because I did screen record that. But yeah, no, she used, I think it was hit me up for a kitty walk. And then what else? It was hit me up for a kitty walk, NSA, so no strings attached, girlfriend experience, GF experience.
Right.
I think it was $100. It said $100 an hour.
Right.
And then in the little description, it said #companionship, #Wenatchee.
Right. So, where are those other kids so that she's even able to be doing this? There's a lot of questions to that. But that does tell us that if she's posting that she's in Wenatchee, I don't know if she is or if she's doing that to throw people off.
Well, and was it last night or the night before? We also received another tip that Lori Sue may have fled to Montana.
Right. Yeah, I think that was last night.
Which I've never heard of Lori having family in Montana. The people that I've spoken to say that she does not have family in Montana, but who knows? Who knows if she's talking about, blood family or, somebody she met on the streets.
Right. You never know. Just like we had a tip come in saying that Kit could possibly be in Oklahoma at this point or was thinking about going to Oklahoma.
Yes, so friend.
We're begging people in Oklahoma now, please share this, And I think at this point, we're kind of at a point where we're asking you guys here on the internet to help us, The police work as best as they can, but I do feel like the internet can work faster sometimes. And so we're here begging you guys to share this live, to talk to your friends. If you live here in the Omak area, I think that we're trying to put something together for the 29th of this month. Yes. And I think that, if we want to put flyers, put up more flyers, I have a bunch more that we can put up. If anybody wants to reach out to me, we can meet up and I can give you flyers or whatever you want to do. If you own a business and you want to put a stack of flyers on your counter, let me know. I'll bring them over. And if there's anybody in the Wenatchee area, we can, email.
Natasha, can you send that to me? I think you're talking about the finding Kit thing, not Kit's actual thing. So I'm pretty sure you're talking about finding Kit tagged you yesterday. Hold on 1 second, everybody. No, this is a different Kit. Hold on here. This is the Kit that went missing. It's Esmeralda Nelson Mora, a.k.a. Kit. Went missing since April 22nd, 2022. Wasn't reported till September, age 17. brown hair, brown eyes. Well, you were talking about a different kid. Hold on here 1 second. Let me get back to what I was doing. All right, we're going to continue on.
You the copy, and maybe you can make copies and pass them out, or if you can't afford to make copies, I can do my best to meet you somewhere halfway even, or all the way, whatever we have to do, just to get the word out, because I think the more areas that we cover, the best we can help.
Definitely.
I appreciate that, Amber. If you want to message me personally, Margaret Miller, I'm here on Facebook, or I'm on TikTok, The Real Margaret Like Target. There's like 6 fake accounts, but it's just Real Margaret Like Target, The Real Margaret Like Target. Yeah, if they message you back saying something wanting money, you know you're on one of the fake accounts, unfortunately. Yeah. Girl, it's crazy.
But yeah, so I am planning, and well, I don't care how I have to do it. I will be in Omak on October 29th.
Right. And we're going to get together there at the Stampede Apartments, right at Lori Stu's apartment. Well, not on their property, but on the grass across the way.
Nearby.
Right. There's a park right there at Eastside Park. So we're going to all gather and, kind of talk about Kit and, kind of give some good energy and, yeah, do a little vigil, I guess.
Maybe like talk to people. That's my big plan. I want to talk to people on the street. I want to, I want to have hold like a little vigil or something for Kit.
Exactly.
And, maybe if they are still in Omak and like hear about it, they can be like, oh shit, my sister does give a shit. Here I am.
Yeah, maybe they'll come. I mean, that would be, could you imagine best case scenario? That would be my whole heart if Kit saw that we were doing this vigil and showed up and was like, I'm here. You know what I mean? Like, let's talk best case scenario now, because we've been talking some really heavy stuff. It would be amazing if that happened,
Yeah.
Someone should have been at Barter Fair handing out flyers. Those guys are all over the place and good networking. Yeah, I agree. Honestly, I was supposed to go up to Barter Fair and I was going to bring, flyers up with me. But unfortunately, I had a family emergency. My son was in the hospital 2 days in a row and I just wasn't able to make it up there. So I really do feel badly about that. But I did tell a lot of friends and I know a lot of people were talking about it. But obviously not enough. So I feel guilty about that. And I am truly sorry. I am like really sorry that we had a family emergency, because
I know, but you know what? It happens. I think that we're all doing our best right now. And if you consider like how little time has been, like it has actually been that since we've known.
Oh yeah.
We have
in the last like 2.5, 3 weeks, we have, I mean, honestly, I keep saying it, we've moved mountains, we went ahead and there's been an article written or a couple of articles written. There's been a news report. I really hope that we can get it out there more. Yeah.
At this point, I'm literally sending flyers to like the picture of the flyer everywhere.
Yeah.
To people that, probably will never see it in their DMs, but like I'm still sending it.
Right, me too. I mean, honestly, if you know anybody, please.
Like, literally, if you see like you are more than welcome to save anything. Like you can screenshot the pictures and post them. I don't care.
Yeah, and honestly, Amber said, yeah, there's posters all around town, and I put them up everywhere. Megan and her husband Francisco put them up everywhere. So the whole town is really covered in posters. I even had said something to Charlotte the other day about maybe we should make a post and almost make it a thing. Like if you see a poster of Kit, take a picture of it and post it,
Right.
And I know it sounds like kind of silly, but it helps spread the word and we would totally appreciate it. Like we would really appreciate you helping spread it, because it's terrifying. When we look at the details and we look at everything, it's a lot to take in, I'm looking forward to seeing you the 29th, in real life.
I'm excited to get down there and be able to actually like do groundwork instead of just like sitting here on my phone.
Right. No, but you've done so much. Like you don't even need to say that, because like really, like you've done so much.
I did put some up in Yakima. I went and got some.
Exactly.
An organization had donated $40 to let me go print some. I printed them off. They're in like the First Street area, like the worst area. So I don't know if they're still up. I do need to go check that out, because I know how people are down there, because I was myself there for a long time.
Yeah.
So I do need to go down there. I'm gonna try to get more printed. But unfortunately, I don't have anyone here that just prints them for me. So
I'm lucky I have a Robin.
My printer's broken.
I'm lucky I have a Robin.
I know. I'm sitting here like I need one.
But I mean, I did go down and I've been speaking with the unhoused. And I've been speaking with, just everybody down by the river and over here that hang out, in the park. And a lot of people say that they believe they remember seeing Kit, but it's been a while. We've had some people saying, a bunch of stuff. And it hits home that it has been a while since they've been seen. It hasn't been just like 5 days. It's been, months. And I really, really appreciate all the effort that everyone's putting in, like,
honestly,
yeah, it's huge. And I feel thankful.
Like, every little bit of information that's been given, no matter how small and insignificant it might seem to you guys, like it's so huge for us.
Huge.
Like
I mean, it's a lot. And
We really
Veronica,
do, like,
I'll
we have
make
that
sure to
right.
get some posters for you. If you want to meet up here in Omak, we can meet up and I can give you some posters. I would really appreciate that because I haven't gotten to the Orville area yet. Or even I can come up there if that's more convenient. Let me know. My name is Margaret Miller on Facebook and you can message me and I'll definitely get back to you. But yeah, Amber, as a mom, I think it is absolutely heartbreaking. Like, let's be honest here, as parents, I feel like, how do you go like months without talking to your child and not know that they're safe? You know what I'm saying? And yeah,
Right.
kids' neighbors have reported that they heard a lot of screaming and yelling. There was a report from one neighbor that they smelled acetone. You know, there's a lot of questions why more wasn't done. But I'm going to be honest. If you look at the CPS DCF case, there are some horrific things that Lori Sue was doing to those younger children. And she's already got them back. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it is
I know,
mind boggling.
I almost asked who Charlotte was, and I remembered it was me.
Mm.
I was like, wait a minute, to who?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely can try. Yeah. We can do that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But
100%.
yeah, no, I think that genuinely, everybody that has that, like, you know, heard something and didn't say something, I understand. I understand why they didn't report because, you know, Lori is violent.
Right.
She has a significant history of violence, and I get being scared.
Of course, I would
But
be
at the
terrified.
same time, there's that piece of me that's like, but you
gotta
can
do the right
literally
thing.
report it on.
Yeah, you've got to do the right thing. Like, there's a part of you that even if you're scared, if you think that a child could literally be in harm, why wouldn't you go ahead and make sure? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
there's a part of me where I'm like, you got to call. You know what I mean? You got to do that right thing and make sure.
Right. Well, Kayla, the thing about the CPS report so the CPS report happened in June. That's when that happened. So, Lori didn't have Kit at that time. Lori didn't have to mention Kit because wasn't there, you know? So,
Supposedly had run away by then.
Yeah, they had supposedly run away in April. And so, supports community. And whoever decided to give these kids back should be held accountable. The whole thing hurts my soul.
See, and I do give credit to the people in the community that didn't report, that did go ahead and report. Like, I don't want to be bashing people and make people think that, like, I don't think that some people reported, because there are people in that neighborhood that I personally have spoke to that they said something. Like, they were like, excuse me, CPS, DCF. And unfortunately, I don't know what's going on over there with those agencies, but they most certainly failed the entire family and all the children. Like, no question.
People that I've spoken to, it sounds like they fail a lot of children.
Well, you went ahead and told the caseworker, hey, I have this picture. Lori Sue is prostituting herself. I don't think that's good. And she told you to mind your effing business.
Mind my own business.
She cursed at you. Like, what kind of a DCF agent would do something like that? Like,
like, well, and you know, I've spoken to, so I had my own CPS case open, and it took me 2 years to get my kids home, you know, and I'm not scared to admit that. Like, I fucked up. I did my own shit. Yeah. And it took me 2 years to bring my babies home. And there was no neglect or abuse. It was literally just, this girl is doing some stupid shit and hanging out with some dangerous people. And we don't think she.
And you think about that, it's like, okay, you're a wonderful mom. You are, like, honestly, a great mom. And it's really sad that they would take children away over something so little. And then yet Lori Sue literally has cigarette burns, bites, and choking, you know, on these children. And they're given back to her in a matter of months, not even weeks almost.
Yeah. It doesn't even make sense to me
at all.
I'm trying to find the actual, like, text message on my laptop because I know I posted this. Oh, here it is. Yeah,
I have the Face of the Monster ones printed up. Leland and Brianna, if you guys want, I can make sure you get some so that you can do that. Yeah, I already have a stack of like 200 of that one printed. The Lori is a Monster one right here. And then I was going to ask Robin about some of the other ones tomorrow. And then or on Tuesday, because I think she's off on Monday. But I also think that spreading the word everywhere is just where we're at now at this point. You know?
I think that, like, since we're waiting for law enforcement, we're waiting on the PI, we're waiting.
Right.
There's a lot of waiting.
There's a lot of waiting game. It's like hurry up and wait, and then a whole ton of information. Hurry up and wait, and then another day with a whole bunch of information. It's almost a lot to process. I think that's why, like, it took us a couple days to even do this live, because it was like that mattress and the blood on the dresser, the children's dresser. Like, that was a lot to see for myself, even. You know what I mean? Like, well, I have a pretty tough stomach, and as a mom, that like took me away a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, and I think we all needed a minute to process that and process what the police said when they told us, that was blood. Yeah, I still, like, I can't even, you know, like, exactly, Jasmine. I feel like I genuinely, like, I know what's going on, you know, and I think that a lot of people that I've talked to, like, in person, even, like, just my family and, like, my friends, they're like, well, you're not very emotional. And I'm like, because it hasn't hit. It's not real. Yeah, right now it's almost like a story unfolding that we're trying to solve, and we're trying to get Kid home. And it's like, I refuse to even let that negative get into my head. I'm such on a mission to get Kid home. But then I have to be the realist and say, okay, there is that scary part where something could have happened. But I do think, just like Jasmine said, we got to yell it from the mountaintops. Like, and I think
Oh, yeah,
that's
tell
the best
everybody.
thing to do right now. You know, if anybody wants to share this live, again, you know, go on TikTok, make TikToks, you know, make up, you know, posts and send posters, or take pictures of, you know, of posters when you see them and go ahead and post it. Anything helps at this point. I mean,
Literally, when you go to the doctor's office, look at your doctor and be like, "Hey, did you hear about this?"
Yeah.
You know.
exactly. I mean, I was gonna say, does anybody have any like questions for us, or you know, anything that maybe we haven't covered? I think the breaking news really in this whole thing, unfortunately, was that blood evidence and the confirmation. But unfortunately, we don't have anything more to add to that at this point.
No, we haven't. We don't know DNA. We don't know if it's even human blood at this point.
Yeah. So, it says, what are the police saying? Are they acting like they're going to take action?
You know, if I'm being honest, it feels like they're not. It feels like they don't really give a lot of credit to what's going on. It feels like they don't really believe a lot of what's going on. That, or they are so understaffed they don't care.
I think their hands are tied in some ways as well. You know, I know Omak PD cares. You know, from the people I've talked to, at least it seems like they do care, but their hands are very tied. And I do give them
It sounds like
credit,
they're really limited.
but I do feel like then when you get into the other agencies involved, it's really difficult.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I know,
Like,
again,
I just
like they
feel
said,
like-
it's a hurry up and wait game. So there's a lot of waiting on our part.
Yeah. I just feel like at this point, it's like, I know that there are so many people out there that do care, and there's so many people that want to do things. But
Right.
as an officer, like as law enforcement, there's only so much they can do with limited information. And if you want to be really, really technical, a lot of what we have is hearsay.
Right. Unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of factual stuff to go off of.
Yeah, it's not like, you know, we have like proof that Lori is doing this right now, other than, okay, so yeah, we know for a fact prostituting. We've got that TikTok. She posted that from her own account.
Exactly.
We know that. We know that Kit, you know, had spoken to somebody else about domestic violence in the home.
Right.
We know for a fact that Lori has had this open CPS case. Okay,
Right.
so we have these facts.
Right.
However, you know, a lot of what we do know is, like I said, hearsay. I've heard a lot of stories about things that Lori has supposedly been involved in, but how do we know, you know?
Yeah.
What else can we do besides share on Facebook? Has anyone got into the little street outreach in case kids out there?
I can't believe seeing the blood and confirming that's what it is. That didn't blow this out of the water. Lori believes she's good because she just disappeared, but she couldn't be any more wrong. I agree completely. Cassandra's asking, do you think that she would go to Spokane and try and go to a bus station? I do think that that's a possibility. I mean, why not?
Oh,
I think
yeah.
anything's a possibility at this point. Let's be honest, when it comes to Lori Sue, I wouldn't rule anything out. Like, unfortunately, like I said, we don't even know where her youngest children are at this point. I want to believe that they're with her and that they're safe, but there has been no physical confirmation of that at this time. So that's a whole nother thing going on at this moment as well. What can we do besides share on Facebook? You know, as we have reached out to the local street outreach, we've talked to fire. They are helping us. They're really some amazing people, the things that they do for the kids in the community here. And we are reaching out to everybody. We've reached out to news stations. We've reached out to reporters. We do have a PI now that's helping us because of the fact that we aren't sure if the police are doing as much as I think their hands are tied. Like I said, I think there's things they maybe can't do. And so the PI, I hope, is going to be able to help us a lot. But yeah, that's really where we're at with stuff.
As far as like, what else can you do? If you want to, you know, give out flyers, that's always an option. If you want to talk to people, you know, like just kind of word of mouth says a lot. Like,
and
street
tip
talk
is a good tip.
important.
Like, honestly, at this point, any tip is a good tip.
Like I said, street talk is so important.
Right. I think that it's really important. Like, exactly. Somebody said they saw her at a gas station at night. We've heard that too. I've had somebody tell me that she was sitting across the street from the 76 station at that old house, like an old business with white columns. There are a lot of trap houses in Omak that house young homeless kids. I 100% agree with that, and that they get them on drugs and they push them into sex trafficking. I know that's going on here in Omak. I know that a lot of people from Omak don't want to talk about it and don't want that to be a case. But unfortunately, the drug issue here is huge. I moved from a big city and moved to this cute little tiny town of 5,000 people. And it blows me away the amount of people that are unhoused and on drugs. And it's sad.
Yeah.
It's genuinely heartbreaking because as a mom, I look at every single one of those unhoused and I think each one of them have a mother that cares like I do. Each one of those people have somebody that cares. And if maybe not somebody, then I do. Shit, you know?
I almost fell.
But yeah, I think maybe a fundraiser to help with costs for searching would be huge.
Yeah, I think a fundraiser would be really nice.
Yeah.
I've been avoiding doing fundraisers and like stuff like that because I feel so bad taking people's money. I don't like I know that it's important and it's a good cause. I always feel like, you know, I don't want anyone to think that we're in it for money.
Right. No, I get it. I think people know you just want to find your sister. Right here, Jasmine said Lori Sue should have been criminally charged after that report from June. I don't believe these government agencies are going to take the necessary actions. I hope to be wrong. I think we all feel that way. That's why we're grateful for this PI that's said they'll do this pro bono and help us. I think that, it's huge. And once we get confirmation that he's really helping us, we'll announce his name and put it out there because he deserves some credit for that. But we really appreciate you saying that what we're doing is important. I think that it's a little nerve wracking for anybody. Like, usually I'm on TikTok being silly, just being a little, and this is really serious. And I really, 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 Charlotte, from the bottom of my heart, I hope that we have the best outcome here, and I hope that we're able to reach more people. I hope that people step up and start sharing. I hope that we can get together maybe and, start some kind of fundraiser. If everybody wants to, kind of come in the chat over at Finding Kit, we would really appreciate it. If you message the Finding Kit page, we'll make sure to get you flyers. We'll make sure to respond. Charlotte literally responds to every single message. You might get like a weird, like away message for a second, but she always gets back to you.
Hi, thanks for contacting us. But I message everybody back as soon as I possibly can.
Exactly.
And I always try to make sure that, if somebody wants more information, like I'm on my personal Facebook a lot more.
Right.
So I'm like, hey, if you want more information, if you know something, like, and you don't want it to go to the page where everybody else can see it, like message me personally.
Right. Like if you know anything, no tip is too small. Like literally at this point, no tip is too small.
I don't care if you're telling me what, like, your grandma heard that somebody heard that Lori had for dinner. Like I want to know.
Like, and the truth of the matter is, Lori Sue's done a lot of bad stuff. There's a lot of people that, she has hurt, like, and not even just children, like they're grown adults that she has beaten to a pulp and almost killed, and I think that deserves to be said. I think that anybody getting involved needs to know that there is some risk there. I know I was really nervous when I saw her face to face like that. I thought, oh my God, is she going to come out here and, get in my face about this at this point? I was nervous, I'm not going to lie. But
right.
Yeah, I think that any tip is a good tip and we really appreciate it, really appreciate it. So I don't know. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? We appreciate you, Jamie. Thank you for, helping, saying that we're doing a job. And I hope that we do get answers. Truly. I think that Charlotte and Megan, Francisco, and I are doing everything that we humanly possibly can think to do at this point. But if you think that you have thought of something that we haven't thought of, again, please message us because we're only so much brain power and we really appreciate it. I think that all of us are running a little bit on no sleep and caffeine at this point because it's taken over our lives a little bit because that's how important it is. Yeah.
I know my fiance gets so frustrated sometimes because he's like, all you do is look at your phone. And I'm like, well, sorry.
Literally, my husband last night was like, you're always on your phone. And I'm like, well, there's a reason right now. It's not just being silly.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I understand and I appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, I think this literally has taken over my life a little bit, but at the same time, only in the best way.
Definitely.
As much as it was scary to go and see some of the things I saw, I'm grateful that I was able to go over there and do that for you guys because I don't know if the police were going to send you pictures, you know what I mean? Obviously. So,
right.
Unfortunately.
Who knows if you hadn't even gone there, what would have happened? Who knows if the police would have ever even showed up?
Well, I don't think she was, I'm not trying to say anything about anything, so I can't make assumptions and that would be wrong of me.
Right.
But I definitely, by the fact that the linoleum had already been pulled up, think that there was plans to just fix up the apartment and move on.
Right.
And I get that, I get that you need to have a new tenant, you need to make money. But I also think that once she got further inside the house and saw some of the things she saw, she realized that there's something wrong. Because when I got there, she was outside, or the owners were outside. And they were visibly upset. Like I said, they were shaken. You could tell that they were nervous and scared. I know when Megan talked to, the owner that
Foundation Free Pool,
they were very upset and nervous, which is scary.
I'd also like to point out, I don't really deal with law enforcement myself. I try to let Megan do most of that because me personally, I'm very impatient.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I kind of I try to run the social media aspect. I respond to to people,
right.
To let not people that are of authority. I talk to everybody else basically.
Right.
So any questions about law enforcement involvement, I will probably always direct you to Megan.
Right.
So
head on over to Megan. She's the one to talk to. We appreciate you, Megan, so much.
So much. She's the one who does that because I can't.
Right. Well, and I think that there should be attention to the fact that Francisco and Megan, the minute that they knew something was wrong, they were here in Omak. They headed straight to Omak. There was no second thought. There was no, oh, we don't care. Everything that Lori Sue had presented and told Kit was a lie. And the second that they knew that there was a problem, they were here in Omak trying to find their baby. And I think that is a huge thing because I think that some people are like, well, why did it go so long with nobody looking? And unfortunately, again, like we said, you go through stuff sometimes in families where you don't talk for a month or 2 or 3 or 4, but it doesn't mean you don't love that person. It doesn't mean that you don't care. And the second that they knew there was a problem, they were here. And I really commend them and you and everyone else that's helping because it is making a difference. You know what I mean? Law enforcement, unfortunately, was doing nothing about this. And now they're doing something, you know, something's happening, you know, the ball is rolling.
All this pressure and everybody like submitting all this stuff. And I think that everything that I have posting it on Facebook, you know, as some people have like that I've seen in person, they're like, well, don't you think that's kind of stupid because now she knows what you know? And I'm like, no, you know why that's a good thing? Because now she knows what we know.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to be honest,
So
you know, as much
that,
as she knows what we know, I also want to be honest with everybody right here. There is some other stuff that I think that we do know a little bit that we can't share, but it's not because of anything like not wanting to. I just don't want to mess up the police process either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like I want the police to be able to do their job to the best of their abilities. And I think that's an agreement that we all have across the board. So, you know, as much as everybody's like, you guys are putting it all out there, I think it's very important to know that we always have our ace in the back pocket. And there is other shit going on, you know, and Lori Sue should be really scared. She should be, you know, like at this point,
and
Lori
I'm sure she's going to see
scared.
this. I'm sure somebody's going to send it to her and she's going to see it. And she's going to watch it and she's going to be like, wow, look at this. But you know what? Yeah, wow, look at this. And guess what? We're coming for you.
Yeah,
so
like no joke, we are coming for you. And it is an army of people. It's not one or two. It is the entire town of Omak, and it is you guys, and it is your family. And there are so many of us, and everybody just wants to get home at this point, you know, and
exactly.
Like, I don't even care, you know, what's gone on. I think that's important to say. Like, I don't think anybody really cares. We just want to get home. If you're on drugs, cool. Let's get home and let's fix that. You know what I mean? There's people here to love you and fix that. And even just checking in, you know, even just a phone call. Like if you see this, even just a phone call to your family, everybody wants to talk to you. I think it's
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All she has to do is tell the truth.
Yeah.
Tony Hawley should be much more concerned this could save his reelection.
Well, maybe we should call Tony Hawley. I don't even know who that is, but let's get on it. Well, hey,
Isn't
Tony,
that
we need your help. Exactly. All she has to
do.
do is tell the truth. And I think that, unfortunately, that hasn't been done. And exactly, Megan, we all love Kit. And I know I don't personally know Kit, but at this point, I feel pretty personally invested. And I definitely am like, Kit, I love your family. I love you. I'm like, I'm officially family. So what's up, Kit? New sister. Hey.
Yeah, right.
New sister, shout out.
Yeah. Sheriff. Oh, it's a sheriff. I was like, is that PD or is that
Okanagan Sheriff? Okay. Yeah. I think that, you know, that's just really important. So I don't know. I guess, again, just sharing it as much as we can. Megan, I'm happy to be stuck. I'm like stuck like Chuck, happy as heck.
I know.
So.
It's crazy. It's so like, as terrible as this whole situation is, like, I'm so grateful for everybody that I've spoken to.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm grateful for the connections that I've made.
I mean, every single person that has reached out and helped, I give a ton of credit, and I'm like so thankful.
Yeah,
you know, even just the kids that I've talked to at school and stuff, like I give them so much credit for being so open and honest and telling me the truth and giving us information about kids' habits and the way that they acted and the way that it was so unusual for them to stop coming to school, you know. And I mean, honestly, I don't want to cry, but I'm so thankful that there are so many wonderful and good kids over at Omak High School that even if they weren't friends with Kit, they knew Kit's schedule and routine because they cared. And that's huge. Right. You know, like, yeah, I don't want to cry, but I'm like, Jocelyn, you raised a really good kid. So I know she'll see this later. I know she's busy, but yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah.
All right, we're going to stop that there. We're going to put Kit back onto the screen for a minute here. We're only going to go for a couple more minutes, but I wanted to talk about this just a little bit here. And one of the things that caught my eye is that a lot of things have unraveled since that first interview. So if you're watching the replay, or you're just coming in now, the first replay, they didn't know a lot of stuff like the mattress, the floorboards, and the counter having blood on it. I am glad that the sheriffs have gone out there as well. I just think that I don't know what to think at this point in time. I just think that one way or another, we need to, just as in any missing persons case, is we need to continue to show the poster and get the person's name out there. So in this case, it's Kit. Kit could be in Oklahoma, like they said, could be in the state of Washington, could be in Yakima, could be a lot of different places. So it's very important to put it out there. As you could tell, wasn't living in the best situation. And I don't know, I'm going to continue to dig into it and maybe get one of the sisters up here to get their insight on what's going on, or see what else we can do to help. There is a Finding Kit page that has 1,000 people on it on Facebook. There is a Finding Kit group as well that only has like 400 people in it. So it's definitely something to go take a look at. Go join. Just show them the support that they need to encourage them to keep going. Hopefully we can get some answers here at some point in time. Obviously, everybody here, Duchess, just made this good poster that's here. She just made it. It's a newer one that was made. So there's a lot of questions that I have that I will ask as an insider looking into this, and we'll see what we can get for some answers and see what. I just have some thoughts, and some things didn't seem right, and it looks like they made a lot of progress from the first little thing that they did to where they came to now. So this is Kit. If you've seen Kit in Omak, Washington, or Yakima, Washington, please dial 911 or 509 422 7200. I'm just going to touch on a couple things. Tomorrow I'm going to try to do a Michael Vaughn video. I got some things to say in that case. I need to go back to the Lucian video too, as you all are in here right now. And we've been making very, very good progress in Taylor Berry's case. I mean, we're getting a lot more traction. People are helping share stuff. I have been growing my Facebook, but this weekend I put, or the last couple of days, I put some videos over on TikTok. So if you follow me over on TikTok, definitely go check it out. I put 3 videos up. I want to be able to do a live over there. So if you have a TikTok or you have friends that have TikToks, tell them just to follow me so I could get up to, I think it's 4,000 followers that I need to have over there. And I only have like 100 and something. I mean, I have 49,000 views on some videos over there, but I need to get as many followers as possible, because it'd be nice to do some lives over there too on some other cases and some other things in this community here. And I also posted a couple of the same ones on Twitter as well. Yeah, so this one was for Kit, and hopefully Kit comes home soon. And what we're going to do here is, because there's 3 minutes left, there's 21 of you here. Hopefully you all hit the thumbs up. Definitely hit the thumbs up after this video. When you are done watching Sleuth Mom, come back and take a look at this live. Tim Barry's mother is going to be on over at Sleuth Mom. Let's do a level-headed raid over there into her chat real quick. And everybody go over there and put some blue hearts and tell them that Level-Headed sent you. As I always say, we're going to get out of here tonight. As I always say, if you see something, say something. Thank you all for being here. And welcome in to everybody new that's subscribed here. So thank you very, very much, as I want to grow this platform a lot more. So we're going to head over to Sleuth Bombs. It's starting in 2 minutes.